Hello and welcome back to the Rustic South. I'm Sherry. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. Let's get into it. Today I'm going to be making a primitive gingerbread man. This will probably be my last Christmas video. So we're using the felt ornament kit from the Dollar Tree. I know they had them there just a few days ago. I was there. So we're going to be using two of these in order to make this primitive gingerbread man. So if you haven't got them, then grab them. There's the needle I'm using. It is, I don't know, it comes out of my Singer. You can see on the screen there the Singer sewing kit that I bought. Also, this is a Bernat yarn that I'm using. And it is rather thick. This is a little tough on the fingers, this sewing is, but it is so cute in the end, you guys. It turns out so cute. So if you want to use some thinner yarn or some what is this I originally bought here, Egyptian cotton thread that's thinner, that won't take as much abuse your fingers as much for pulling it through because it's so thick, then use thread. But it turns out so cute, and I love this actual fabric. Turns out to be so cute on it. It really adds to the primitive nature of it. So I'm showing you that I have about half of it done there. And you know, if you have to, start a new piece, that's fine, not a big deal. If you have to, if you cut a piece that's too short in the beginning, or if you end up having to do two or three different ones, that's fine. Just put the knots in between the layers, so they're not seen from the outside. And then here I have it. I'm 3/4 of the way done here. So at this point, I'm using the table to help me push the needle through because my fingers are getting like annoyed at this point. So, so here at this point, we're going to be stopping here in just a second so that we can stuff it. Now, I did use an old pillow stuffing for the stuffing on mine, but if you have old grocery bags that you'd like to use, if you don't have a pillow, or if you don't want to stuff it at all, you can do that too. But I opted to use an old pillow, one that I had bought specifically for, crafting. From Walmart, I think you can get them for around $3. So here I'll be cutting the thread here in a second, and we will be stuffing at that point. There, I cut it and I put the knot on the inside, as you can see. So then whenever we go to restart the sewing again, it will be on the inside. So here's where I'm going to stuff it. So you're going to, be done with doing the needlework for this point. And I stuff him very full because I want him to not be flat. So it's up to you, of course, how stiff you'd like your gingerbread man to be. Also, this gingerbread man, the one I got, his coloring is very, very dark. Now, if it wasn't as dark as it was, I would have grunged it up a little bit with some coffee staining. But he is very dark to begin with, so I didn't really want it much darker. But if you happen to have one that is the lighter version, which I've seen those, you may want to grunge him up a little bit with some coffee or cinnamon. So we're stuffing him pretty good here. He's getting pretty stiff, except for the head, of course. So we're going to stuff his head as much as we can, without having the edges sewn up. But, as you go along, you're going to stuff it more. It is quite a bear to thread very thick yarn through a needle. But what I did was I taped the ends of it so that the ends of the yarn would be much flatter to go through the eye of the needle. So here we're going to continue on. So I cut another piece, and I believe I decided at this point I cut a piece that's way too long, so that was kind of silly. So I started on the inside. So I put the thread through the inside between the two layers, and started again with the sewing. It will take you probably a good 30 minutes. Here we come to the end, nearing the end of our sewing adventure. It turns out really cute, guys. And I don't put a face on mine because one thing, I'm not great with that. If you've seen any of my other videos, I talk about it not being so great at making those. But a lot of primitive things don't have faces on it anyway, so I left it like that. So here I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to tie it and push the knot down as low as I can. And I actually left the knot on the outside of the gingerbread man, which you can't really see because of the color of the yarn and how kind of fuzzy or hairy, if you will, the yarn is. And then I just stuck the end of the yarn in between the layers, and there you go. Okay, so now we have to decide what kind of embellishments we want to put on him. So what I did was I used a tea towel that I had, there it is, a tea towel that I had stained with coffee. And if you guys would like to know how to do that, I'd be more than happy to tell you. I know lots of crafters do it. So, and then I just ripped it into strips. So I'm going to use that one to wrap around. And my homespun, I only use a short piece of that because I don't have a large piece of homespun that is going to wrap around his neck and then make a very long tails for the tie around his neck. So I use the tea towel for that part, and the other two, and the creepy cloth, if you will, from the Dollar Tree in black. I bought several of those packages prior to Halloween this year, and I keep it around for this kind of thing. And then I take some extra of the tea towel that I had stained, and I cut little swatches, and I fray the edges, and I find myself a couple of buttons that I think will work for his tummy area. That's the jute cord that I use. I got it at Walmart quite a while back. It's fairly thin because one thing, again, it had to go through this needle. This is not the needle I used to sew the outside of him. This is a different needle because that one would not go through the holes in my buttons, even though these buttons are fairly large. So make sure whatever needle you're using, it will go through the buttons if this is something that you want to do. I'm just adding this as a little extra, you know, a little extra texture. And so I cut, I don't tie a knot on it because I don't want it to be off center or wobbly on his surface. So I just cut them and leave them kind of long on the back of the button. And pay attention that you're turning your little swatches the same direction. Although I think, even if you hadn't, it probably would be fine because, again, it's primitive and it doesn't have to be perfect when it's primitive. Which is why I guess I like primitive, because I don't have the patience, I don't think, for being perfect. So guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me if you like this kind of thing. If you're still making Christmas crafts. This is probably going to be my last one, like I said, because I believe I am all decorated out for Christmas this year. So I did a cross pattern on the button with the jute cord. Glue on the second one. If you want to put 3, you can. I felt like it was a little too busy. with all the scarves or the tie that I have hanging there. And then I'm going to take a rusty safety pin that I had rusted up, oh, many, many moons ago. And I'm going to make him a little name tag, if you will, using one of my cardboard strips that I always have hanging around. You know, I was going to buy name tags today. Now I was like, why am I buying name tags? I always have cardboard at home. And if you've watched my videos, you know I love cardboard. It's the best stuff to recycle. So what I did was, after I trimmed the sides down, got it to the size I wanted, I peeled off the top layer so that it shows the corrugation. And then I used that piece of paper that I peeled off of the top as the name tag portion. And I'm going to stamp the word primitive on there with my little clickable stamps that I got at Michael's. And what was funny was it's not long enough to put the word all together. So I had to separate it, which is okay. It's fine. It worked. It worked. It works. There are my clickable stamps. So there's a little piece of homespun I'm going to put in the back. There's the corrugated part. And then here's the piece I pulled off the top. And if you see, I stamped primitive on there. And then I'm going to use this rusty safety pin that I had rusted up. And we're going to give him a little name tag. I hope you guys love this little craft. It turns out so cute. I say that about everything. But I do hope you guys love it. I hope you guys will try it. I know that I've seen they have snowmen there, I think, and some trees. The trees would be cute too. So anyway, I repositioned this like 3 different times. But anyway, you put it where you want to. It would even be cute hanging from his neck of his scarf. But you put it where you wish. And if you don't do that, you know, use some other kind of name tag to make a little name tag on there if you wish. Tell me if you guys like homespun. Do you guys buy homespun fabric? And if you do, where do you buy it? My Walmart does not carry it. I can only get it at Hobby Lobby. And yes, I was in there today, and no, their fabric was not on sale this week. So I did not buy any more this week. But that's the only place I can get it. So I hope you guys like this craft. I hope you'll try it. Please let me know what you think down below. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching my video. And here is the finished project. See you next time. Thank you. Happy holidays.